for the last 71 years, we've watched some of the greatest moments in sports history.
The Celtics now lead 45. And West with a long jump. Russell deflected it and keeps it. Beautiful play. Feeds off quickly to Havlicek. Has been guarded by Krebs, who is holding back. Goes up. They jump long. Susie throws it high in the air. And the Boston Celtics are the world champion. Oscar Robertson throws to Kareem. 7 seconds. Winkle. The guy up. Kareem with a big pressure shot.
Hayes setting something up with Larry Bird, who gets it low. What's a move on Byron Scott? What a move by Larry Bird. Malone is doubled. They swat at it and steal it. Here comes Chicago. 17 seconds. 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. It's Kobe again. Portland have 3 timeouts, while the Lakers have 2. Bryant to shot.
This fall, I'm taking my time to South Beach. Join Miami.
James pulls up, puts it in, 4-point lead. 35 for LeBron James. Timeout San Antonio.
He's off the runner, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger?
But what if we went all the way back and redid it? Today is the year 1949. Welcome to NBA History Resimulation here on NBA 2K22. For those of you who are returning from previous of the previous 2 series that we've done this, welcome back. For those who are new to this series, welcome. So how this works is we are starting in the year 1949, and we are resimulating NBA history all the way as far as we can, barring NBA 2K being crap. And the reason why I say that is because I've done this series twice, one on 2K20 and one on 2K21. And we did finish NBA 2K20, but NBA 2K21, that series, obviously it being on next gen for the first time, it had a lot of issues, and we were actually the game, like the my NBA file ended up breaking, so we could not continue. I think we made it through, gosh, did we get to the 2000s? I can't remember. But basically we couldn't simulate any farther because the game would just crash over and over again. And that was on PS5, so I honestly think there was an issue with PlayStation. So I am on the Xbox this time around here for this chapter 3 of doing this. So hopefully we can make it all the way through. Now this series is going to be a little bit different from the first 2. And the only change that we are making is just how many seasons we are doing in each episode. So previous series, we did 3 seasons in each episode, and it went, 30 seasons, or not even, like 27 episodes. This year, we are actually doing 2 seasons per episode, and we're doing it every other day. So we will have 2 seasons in this episode, and then in 2 days we'll have another episode of 2 seasons, blah blah blah, instead of doing it 3 seasons with every 3 days. Okay, so those are kind of the changes this year, and other than that, I think everything should be good. With the save itself, if you guys want the roster, I did upload this exact roster. It is on Xbox, and just search 1949, 1950. It should be made by BDRAXLER. So if you guys want to download the roster yourself, you can. And I just went ahead and grabbed, you know, the teams that were in it. So basically, if you guys are new to this series, this is how it's going to go. There are 8 teams in the league out of 20, out of actually 25 this year, just because I think that was part of the reason why it broke in 2K21 was I used all 6 of the expansion slots. So I'm just going to use 5 this year. And, you know, hopefully that works just fine. So 25 teams in the league, but only 8 teams are filled. So we've got real players here on the Minneapolis Lakers. And then ignore the logos behind these. I don't know why. It should just be the NBA 75-year logo, but I don't know. Whatever. So we've got 8 teams, like I said. We got the Minneapolis Lakers, the Fort Wayne Pistons, who actually don't have any players. And then we have the Philadelphia Warriors. We have the Syracuse Nationals. And we have the Boston Celtics, the Tri-Cities Blackhawks, and the Rochester Royals, and of course the New York Knicks. So those are the 8 teams in the league. Now you may be wondering, well, that's not super accurate. I know. Basically, I wanted to simulate all 75 full years, but it's a little weird how the NBA started, and a lot of those teams that started the league actually just kind of completely disbanded, and then new teams and new owners came in. So these 8 teams are the first 8 teams of the league that we see today. So obviously the Minneapolis Lakers turned into the LA Lakers. We all know that. The Fort Wayne Pistons turned into the Detroit Pistons. The Philadelphia Warriors turned into the Golden State Warriors. Syracuse Nationals turned into the Philadelphia 76ers. The Boston Celtics obviously stayed as the Celtics. Tri-Cities Blackhawks ended up becoming the Atlanta Hawks. And the Rochester Royals end up becoming the Sacramento Kings. So, and the Knicks are the Knicks. So that's why I do it the way I do it. There were other teams in this time, but those teams actually disbanded completely. So that's why I do it with these 8 teams, and I started in 1949. Because in 1949, all of these, I believe, all of these 8 teams existed. I think at that time, though, there was actually 12 teams, 11 or 12 teams. But like I said, 3 or 4 of them did not continue throughout the league history. And I just thought that would confuse things in this series. So I made sure that I'm only adding the teams that actually end up becoming NBA franchises that we know of today. So that's how that goes. We've got draft classes. I have like the first 4 made for 1950, 1951, 1952, and 1953. So again, the draft classes won't be completely full of all the players. Just a lot of the all-star players that end up becoming, you know, that we all kind of remember, right? Well, not all of us remember, not me, but you know what I mean, like the George Mikan, or is it? Yeah, it's George Mikan, right? Vern Mickelson, like Slater Martin. Like obviously there was more players on this team, but only the, I guess, better players will be in this series, at least for the older draft classes, until we get to some of the newer draft classes. So I think I've gone over everything for those of you who are new to the series. If you guys are excited for this series, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel and are excited for the series. I am very excited. I'm hoping that there's no issues with NBA 2K22. Those of you who have been playing 2K22 on next gen Xbox, let me know if there's any issues that I should know of, so that way I can avoid it, you know, before then, if there is a way to avoid it. So let's get into it. So basically, because we're only doing 2 seasons per episode, I actually want to look at a little bit more throughout the year, and maybe even join a little bit more games as we get later on into the series. Maybe right now, not as often, we'll jump in. But for the draft class, obviously the 1950 draft class, we got George Yardley, Bob Cousy. By the way, if I say any names wrong, I do apologize. I did not live through this era, so some names I don't know how to say. I've gotten better because I've done this twice, But again, every year I actually add a player or two to the list. Sometimes, you know, it just so happens that someone's made the player or made the draft class and they added a couple new players. So in some cases, there are some new names. So again, like I said, I apologize if I do say any names wrong. Larry Faust, Paul Arizin, Bill Sharman, Chuck Cooper, and Earl Lloyd are all in this draft class. So that's the 1950 NBA draft class. And I think that's it. And I think what I'm going to do for these videos is every year I'm going to sim to the All-Star game. And we'll go over all-star players. Now, one thing for you guys who are wanting to do this yourself, you have to make sure. Now, I don't know if this would break it in this game, but last year it did, where you have to make sure that it's not the all-stars picking their players. You have to make sure it's like the old rules where it's East versus West. And it's just the top. I changed it to top 10. When you make the series, or when you make the My NBA, you can actually, in the settings there, you can change all of that before you create the league. So go ahead and do that, and just make sure that it's not like the top voted player, you know, how it is today, where, you know, LeBron gets to pick his team and Giannis gets to pick his, you know, whatever. Make sure it's just East versus West. I also, for like the other games, I made it rookies versus sophomores. I've made it like kind of just how it was before, like the All-Star game rules. I just changed it to the normal 4 quarters, and I also lowered the player count from 12 to 10. So those are some of the things I did. Also, I slowed down the pace of the game, and I also upped the shot clock to, I believe, 35 seconds, whatever it is, just so that numbers aren't too crazy. And you know, if they are, we'll adjust it. So those are few of the housekeeping things, but let's get to All-Star Week. I'm curious to see who ends up making the All-Star team. I mean, I'm sure we should know, actually, all the players, most of the players should make it, but we'll, you know, every year we'll look at All-Star players, and then we'll look at stats, just because we're only doing 2 seasons per episode now instead of 3. It makes it easier for me to record, and I think we can go a little bit more into a deep dive of all the numbers and stuff. So if there are any things that you guys want to see that we haven't showed in the past 2 seasons, let me know in the comments below, and maybe we can get to those things that maybe we didn't get to previously. So anyways, let's go ahead and sim through this date, get to the All-Star game. So All-Stars for the West and East, these are, I'm just going to show the starters, and then maybe we'll show the, I guess maybe we'll show the box score. I'm not sure, but we'll kind of figure it out. West All-Stars, though, we got Andy Phillip, Bobby Wanzer, Arnie Risen, Neil Johnston, and George Mikan. And then for the East All-Stars, we've got Carl Braun, Paul Seymour, Jack Nichols, Dolph Shays, and Ed McCauley. And yeah, there we go. So there's the All-Star starters. We'll go ahead and simulate through that and view the box score. Cool, so we can see all this. So East All-Stars do win it by 7. Low scoring games, 70-63. And we can award the well, you know what we will do? We'll look at the box score, and then we will award the All-Star MVP. I think that's something that will be really cool. So how about this? Let's give it to you guys, all right? And I mean, obviously we're not watching you know, the All-Star game. Maybe, I mean, I guess eventually maybe we could jump into these games if that's something that you guys want to see. But let me know in the comments below. Now remember, the East won. Does that mean that there's always MVP coming out of that side? I don't know. We'll let you guys vote. So then I'll count the votes, and then you guys pick who ends up winning the All-Star MVP every year. I think that's something that we can do, and I'll write it down so that way we can kind of keep track of it. So this year's, let me erase some stuff. So this year's All-Star MVP, obviously I'll write it down after the episode, and then I'll announce it. I do pre-record, so I can announce it later on. But I'll put in All-Star MVP, and then I'll make sure that, you know, I'll look at the comments, count up the votes, and let me know in the comments below who you guys think should be the All-Star MVP. But Dolph Schayes on the winning team led the team in scoring with 12 points, 11 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Nichols had 10, McGuire had 10, McCauley had 9. The rest of the team and Braun had 8 and 5. And then let's see, bench. Well, I don't know who came off the bench, but West All-Stars, Bobby Wanzer had 19 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. George Mikan, 14 points, 12 rebounds, 3 steals, and a block. Neil Johnston, I almost said 39 points. 9 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Phillip had 8 and 4, and then Risen had 4 and 7. So that is the 1950. Now, I don't think there was an All-Star game back in 1950, but we'll go with this. The 1950 All-Star game, technically 1949, 1950 All-Star game, and the East wins it. I'll actually make sure I put that down too, and then maybe we can, over the course of history, kind of see, does the East do better or does the West end up winning more? So I think that would be something fun that we can do. So that, yeah, like I said, let me know in the comments below who won the All-Star MVP. The 1949-1950 NBA season is now over, and the MVP of the 1949-1950 season is George Mikan, averaging 20 points per game, 28 rebounds, 1.6 assists, and 1.5 blocks per game. Ed McAloy wins Rookie of the Year, averaging 16 points and 36 rebounds. All right, well, a lot of teams missing shots. 3 assists, 1.5 steals. That will fix itself. That's something that's going to be very high, but there's nothing you can really do. Oh, shoot, I forgot to turn down 3-point percentage. So I will do that for next season. That is my bad. And DPOY goes to George Mikan as well, 1.5 blocks per game, 0.9 steals per game. And let's get to the All-NBA First Team, which is a no-name player who has a 57 overall. Okay. Again, we're going to get some weird things that will happen once in a while. Andy Phillip, Jack Nichols, Dolph Schayes, and George Mikan end up being on the All-NBA First Team. And then we've got Frankie Bryan. Is that a real play? Yeah, it is. Paul Seymour, Harry Gallatin, Joe Grabowski, and Ed McAloy. And then the All-NBA Third Team, we got Carl Braun, Dick McGuire, Jack Coleman, Connie Simmons, and Neil Johnston. All Defensive First Team, we got Paul Seymour, Clifton Anderson, Jack Nichols, Harry Gallatin, and George Mikan. And All Defensive Second Team, we've got Frankie Bryan and Dolph Schayes, Joe Grabowski, Ed McAloy. And let's get to the playoffs, where I believe I already have the playoffs set. So it should be 3-game series in the second round, 5 in the conference finals, 7 in the NBA finals is at least what it should be. And then we do have less teams in the West than we do in the East, I believe. I believe there should be 5. 1, 2. You know what? One of the teams did not make the playoffs. One of the West teams, who I don't think was filled, but I think I did split it. But anyway, so the Lakers will have a bye till the conference finals. The Warriors and the Rochester Royals play each other. Then we got the Knicks and the Celtics, and the Nationals versus the Tri-City Blackhawks. So let's go ahead and sim to the conference finals, where we have the Minneapolis Lakers versus the Rochester Royals. And then we have the New York Knicks versus the Syracuse Nationals. Not sure why the Nationals logo isn't showing up, but all right, that's odd. So let's go ahead and go game by game here. Wait, can we not sim? Oh, it's sim through game. Okay. So the Lakers and the Knicks both win game 1. Game 2. It is a 3-game series up until the finals. Sorry. So the Knicks win and sweep the Nationals, and then the Rochester Royals win game 2. Game number 3 does go to the Minneapolis Lakers, and it will be the Knicks versus the Lakers in the first ever NBA Finals. And let's jump in the Simcast here, as did they change any controls? I don't know. It looks very weird to me. But in game 1, remember this should be a 7-game series. The Knicks lead it 38-29. And into the third quarter, tied up at 41. Into the fourth quarter, the Lakers have a 1-point lead. And with a minute 17 to go, the Lakers up 67 to 53. That should do it. The Lakers win at 72-56, and they win game number 1. Game number 2. Once again, in LA, or in Minneapolis. I'm going to do that a lot. The Lakers with a 9-point lead into the fourth quarter. They have an 18-point lead. They are blowing out the New York Knicks 69-45, and they take a 2-0 series lead here in the first ever NBA Finals. And in game number 3, again, the Lakers are on the road this time around, up by 10. Can the Knicks make this thing interesting? Nope, they cannot. It's a 3-0 series lead for the Lakers. Real quick, let's look at the box scores here. Game number 1, George Mikan put up 22 and 25. Harrison at 17 and 6, 15, 6 and 4 for Mickelson. Slater Martin at 8, 10 and 8. For the Knicks, Connie Simmons had 22 and 12, 18 and 9 for McGuire. In game 2, Simmons had 14, McGuire had 10. And then for the Lakers, Mikan had 27 and 19, Martin had 13 and 9, 9 and 9 for Mickelson. And game number 3, Braun had 22 and 12, Simmons with 15 and 7, 7 and 7 for McGuire. For the Lakers, 25 and 30 for George Mikan. He's really good. Mickelson with 14 and 5, Harrison with 12 and 11, and Slater Martin with 12, 6, 3, and 4 steals. So on to game number 4. Once again, in New York, into the third quarter, the Lakers are blowing them out 49-21. And into the fourth quarter, it is still a blowout. They've almost doubled the Knicks score. And you know what? With 5 seconds left, let's jump in. Jumping in with 5 seconds left to watch the Minneapolis Lakers win the NBA Finals. And that will do it. As we'll listen to the commentary. Usually we won't have commentary. I forgot to turn that off. But the Minneapolis Lakers are NBA champions. Oh, cool. Live watch party from Staples Center. That's kind of cool. This is all new. Huh? What? I don't see the suitcase, but okay. All right. Well, that's new. Don't know how often we're gonna show this, but that's pretty cool. Oh, and they give out the final. Oh, we're gonna watch this every time. George Mikan wins a Finals MVP. Now this is cool. Okay, that's something that we can look forward to every year. That's cool. McGuire with 18 and 4, 10 and 6 for Braun. Simmons with 10 and 8 for the Lakers. George Mikan put up 23-21. Mickelson with 21 and 9. Harrison with 19 and 8, 15 and 7 for Martin. And the Minneapolis Lakers win the first ever NBA Finals. The Lakers are NBA champions. George Mikan wins Finals MVP, averaging 24 points per game, 24 rebounds per game. 0.5 steals, 0.7 blocks, shot 65% from the field, 3-point percentage, not sure how many threes he took. I will make sure that is all down, but George Mikan wins Finals MVP. So here we are in the 1950 NBA draft, and with the number 1 overall pick, the Pistons, who had the worst record in the league, worst record among the 8 real teams. They take Bob Cousy. With the number 2 overall pick, the Boston Celtics take George Yardley. With the 3rd overall pick, the Tri-Cities Blackhawks take Paul Arizin. With the 4th overall pick, the Rochester Royals take Larry Faust. With the 5th overall pick, the Syracuse Nationals will take Bill Sharman. With the 6th overall pick, the Warriors take Earl Lloyd. And at 7, Sim? Why did it stop there? Okay. At pick 7, the Knicks take Chuck Cooper, and those are the draft picks. The Lakers do not get to pick a player this year because there was only 7 players. But there you go. There is the 1950 NBA draft. onto the All-Star game here in the 1950-1951 NBA season. And for the West, we got Bobby Wanzer, Andy Phillip, Vern Mickelson, Neil Johnston, George Mikan. And for the East, we got Bob Cousy, Bill Sharman, Paul Arizin, George Yardley, and Dolph Schayes. And the winner of the All-Star game is going to be, for the second year in a row, the East. George Yardley goes for 16-4. Paul Arizin 14-7-3. Dolph Schayes 12-11. Carl Braun 12-4-4. And Bob Cousy at 8 points and 9 assists. For the West, Mickelson at 22-4. Phillip 14. Johnston at 14-5. Mikan at 13-4. So there you go. There is the West and East, or there's the All-Star game. East wins again. Let me know who you guys think should be the All-Star game MVP for the 1950-1951 NBA season. The 1950-1951 NBA season is over, and George Mikan wins the MVP for the second year in a row, averaging 22 and 27, a steal, and nearly 2 blocks per game. Rookie of the year is George Yardley, but if you go to Override, a lot of the players aren't there. So 2K is back to doing that thing where they don't reset the year's pro for the drafted players. So I'm going to have to do that probably every single year for every single player again. That is so frustrating. I'm sure Bob Cousy probably would have won it, although George Yardley had a great year. 23, 17, and 3.8, so I don't know. We got to see Bob Cousy's numbers, I guess. Arnie Risen wins 6th Man of the Year, 8 points, 15 rebounds. Now, the rebounds are going to be high for the first few episodes. George Mikan, DPOY. Vern Mickelson, Most Improved, 19, 10, and 3. And on the All-NBA First Team is Bob Cousy, and he averaged 22 points, 34 rebounds. Yeah, see, his year's pro is broken. It says 15 for some ridiculous reason. I don't know why 2K can't just... I mean, he was literally just drafted. I don't know why. I don't know how that's not reset. Seems pretty simple to me, but all right. So yeah, he probably... I mean, 34 rebounds per game is ridiculous. I don't know why that's happening, but yeah, 22 points per game, 5 assists. I feel like Bob Cousy might have... I mean, I don't know. He's on the All-NBA First Team, so I feel like he should have won Rookie of the Year. Paul Seymour, George Yardley, Paul Arizin, and George Mikan. I guess Yardley's on the All-NBA First Team as well. All-NBA Second Team, we got Bill Sharman, Andy Phillip, Dolph Schayes, Harry Gallatin, and Neil Johnston. All-NBA Third Team, we've got Carl Braun, Bobby Wanzer, and Jack Nichols. All-Defense First Team, Bob Cousy, Paul Arizin, Harry Gallatin, and George Mikan. All-Defensive Second Team, Andy Phillip, Carl Braun, George Yardley, Connie Simmons, and Neil Johnston. So into the playoffs, and after round number 1, or the fake round 1, Minneapolis again will get a free ride to the Western Conference Finals. We got Philly and Rochester as the 2-3 in the West, and then we've got Syracuse versus Boston, and New York versus the Blackhawks. So on to the conference finals. The Royals are eliminated. The Celtics and the Hawks are eliminated. So we've got Minneapolis versus Philadelphia Warriors, and we've got Syracuse versus the New York Knicks. Game number 1, Philly wins game 1 over the Lakers, and Syracuse wins game 1 over the Knicks. Game 2, the Knicks are eliminated by the Syracuse Nationals, and the Lakers have the series 1 apiece. And game number 3, the Warriors are eliminated, and the Lakers are into the finals in back-to-back seasons. The Nationals and the Lakers, there's the teams. We've got Slater Martin, Bob Harrison, Vern Mickelson, and George Mikan. Red Rocha, Dolph Schayes, Paul Seymour, Bill Sharman. Pretty much 4v4. So George Mikan is down to an 89 overall. I lowered the 3-point rating, so I guess his 3-point rating was upping his overall, but that's going to go up. He's really good. So here we go. Game 1. In a 7-game series, we got the Nationals and the Lakers. The Nationals actually had the best record in the NBA. Into the fourth quarter, they're up by 18, And with a minute to go, they're going to win this one 74-59. Sharman with 20. Shays with 16 and 11. Paul Seymour 8 and 13, 9 assists. And for the Lakers, Slater Martin had 18, 4 and 4. George Mikan had 15 and 9. And now on to game number 2. Once again in Syracuse, and they are blowing out the Minneapolis Lakers. Geez, 71-54. Sharman with 18 and 13. Shays with 16 and 12. 12 and 9 and 5. Paul Seymour. And for the Lakers, 13 and 10 for George Mikan. Not a good game for the Lakers, as the Lakers find themselves down 0-2 to the Syracuse Nationals. Game number 3, this time in Minneapolis. And at the half, the Lakers lead it 33-26. At the end of or into the fourth quarter, they're up by 11. And, we got a tie game here. Down to, it wouldn't stop. The simulation wouldn't stop. It's 70-42. I don't know who has the ball. Dang it. It stopped. All right, well, let's jump in and watch the rest of this game. It looks like the Lakers will have the ball down by 2. 3 seconds. They're going to have to launch a long 2. That's no good. And the Nationals will take a 3-0 lead over the Minneapolis Lakers. I do not know why the Nationals logo is not showing up, but they take a 3-0 lead over the defending champs. There we go. I fixed the logo. So Nationals up 3-0 in the NBA Finals. On to game 4. The Lakers got to win. Into the second half, they're up by 14. Now into the fourth quarter, they're up by 14 again. Will they blow this lead? Possibly. Down to 47 seconds. It's 71-67. The Nationals have a chance to win the NBA Finals here. The Lakers with the ball up by 4. And they will go ahead and pass it in. And Harrison is going to get fouled. Some substitutions coming in. So it looks like the Nationals will start fouling here. Remember, it is a 35-second shot clock. And that's going to be stolen. The Nationals stole the ball. Just down by 4. The Lakers are collapsing again. Sharman drives, puts it up and in. It's a 2-point game. 36 seconds to go. And they will foul. They will foul. So a auto-generated player to the free throw line. He misses the free throw. And the second is up and no good. Nationals with the rebound. Seymour with it. Out to, I don't know who that is. I can't see. We're going to get it to Sharman. 24 seconds to go. I don't know who he's defended by here. Again, each team, I believe, has 1 or 2 auto-generated players. 9 on the shot clock. Here we go. Sharman with it. 5 seconds. Sharman drives right. Puts it up. Gets blocked. Was that George Mikan coming in with the block? I think it was. And the Lakers will call a timeout. 0.9 seconds to go in this game. I believe that was George Mikan that came over to get the block. And the Lakers have the ball with 0.9 seconds to go. And they will pass it in, and there is a foul, so 0.6 seconds to go. I don't think the Nationals will really have enough time here, as that free throw is up and good. And the second is no good. 0.3 seconds. Technically, you can get a shot off with 0.3 seconds. Can the Nationals somehow tie this game and go to overtime? Or will the Minneapolis Lakers hold on and make this a 3-1 series? Here we go. Nationals passing it in. And that is going to be no good. Didn't matter anyways. He didn't get it off in time. And the Lakers stay alive and make this a 3-1 series. Game number 5 in Syracuse. The Lakers still trying to hold on and extend this series into the fourth quarter. It's a 3-point game. 5 minutes to go. It's a 4-point game. 2 minutes ago, it's a 2-point game. And geez, it's so delayed with stopping the sim. It's so bad. All right, well, let's jump in. 68-64, the Nationals with a 4-point lead. Wow, the jerseys are really messed up in this. The Nationals are at the free throw line, and that free throw is up and good. Paul Seymour with the 2 made free throws. And now the Lakers will try and go down and score here, down by 6. And, I mean, they got to move here. Driving right up and no good. The foul was on Hannum. And the Lakers will go to the free throw line. First is good. Mickelson with his second free throw is up and good as well. It's back to being a 4-point game with 24 seconds to go. This is tough. I mean, you got to foul and hope the Nationals missed our free throws here. As the ball is in and there will be a foul. But remember, the Nationals have some auto-generated players here. So free throws might be kind of tough as that one's no good. And the second is no good as well. Mikan with the rebound. Down by 4, 23 seconds. This is possible with missed free throws. This game, this is a very, very, there's a very possible chance that the Lakers can come back and at least tie it. Ball into Slater Martin. Martin will get a screen. He backs it all the way out into the post to George Mikan. Mikan drives right, and they're going to get called for offensive 3 seconds. That is brutal. So the Nationals get bailed out because I'm pretty sure George Mikan was going to score there. And the Nationals will pass it in, a near steal, and they will go back to the free throw line. And the first free throw is no good. The second is up and no good as well. Mikan with the rebound, up ahead. That's Harrison. Harrison gets it back to Mikan, kicks it back out. Harrison will take a long 2. That's no good. Mikan with the offensive rebound, kicks it out. And that's no good. Mikan another offensive rebound. But that will do it. The Syracuse Nationals are NBA champions. They beat the defending champions. Wow. The Syracuse Nationals win the NBA Finals. And they beat the Lakers in a 5-game series. Game number 3 was huge because they were down by a lot and they came back to win it. As, I mean, they don't bother to change the logos or anything. But, hey, I mean, when, you know, it's Doc Rivers. And, you know, it's not the most accurate thing in the world. But there you go. The Nationals are NBA champions. And let's see who the Finals MVP is. It is going to be... I wish they would put, like, a bar down below saying who it is. Because I think that's Dolph Schayes. The Nationals are NBA champions. Dolph Schayes wins Finals MVP, averaging 17 and 10 in the NBA Finals. And the 22-year-old, was he a rookie this year? He might have been. Now that I think about it. Dolph Schayes, no, he was not. Okay, I was going to say, wait, he was not. It says he's only 22 years. Like, the years pro is messed up too. I need to go through and fix all of the years pros and the age and stuff. Because for some reason, I thought I had it just fine. But I guess it got a little messed up when I loaded in the roster and stuff. I don't know. Something got messed up. But anyways, there you go, guys. 2 seasons down of the 80 possible seasons that we can simulate. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, there was some weird things it's like that in every version of this series that we do. But we'll kind of, every year is different, and every 2K is different when it comes to the my NBA. There's some things that we gotta fix. So other than that, though, there's some logos I do need to change and update, and I believe the Tri-City Blackhawks will be moving to Milwaukee at this point. And I believe that's it for team movement. But yeah, there you go. There's the first 2 seasons. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything that specifically that you guys want to see changed or added into this series. Let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. And I'll see you guys in 1951.